Hey guys, Julie here. So today I am talking about how I think everything happens for a reason. And I'm going to use a story from my life to illustrate this, a particularly sad story, actually. Story of heartbreak, a story of loss. But out of that story has come a silver lining and a sunshine after the rain. So I'm going to tell you about how this blog came about. Vlog, video channel, website, juliedevivre.com. And it's basically because of a guy. I don't want to give him too much credit, but this guy inspired me, pretty much fell in love with him, and then he broke my heart. So bear with me while I relive this for you. He and I met while traveling under platonic circumstances, but instantly there was a connection. We spent a couple hours together and were, after that, pretty much inseparable. We both canceled our plans so that we could be together the next 6 days rather spontaneously because the connection was so strong. We talked about childhoods, we talked about hopes, dreams. We became a couple basically overnight. When I had to go home, when our time together ended, I was really under no illusions that anything would come of it. But our relationship didn't end. Not only did we stay in contact, we barely went a couple of hours without speaking to each other. Texting, voice messages, Skyping. He drove the relationship. We talked about our future. We talked about more trips together. We talked about seeing each other again. And then he asked me to move in with him. I basically accepted. I even told my friends, mark my words, I'm going to marry this man. Probably jinxed myself, but they had not heard that from me. Irreversible decisions were put into motion. Then it all stopped suddenly. He went radio silent. I didn't hear from him for 24 hours. He didn't return my calls or texts, and I knew something was wrong. So this is a real video, by the way. This is me at my rawest. And why am I sharing this with you? Besides totally embarrass myself. Because in the midst of my devastation, of my heartbreak, something good came of it. If it wasn't for my loss, I wouldn't have this blog. While we were good, he inspired me to imagine, to think bigger, to believe in myself. And when I was suffering at the end of our relationship, I planned, I wrote, I created, and you know what else? I realized that I would never ever settle. That a connection so strong, emotionally, intellectually, physically, while he didn't treasure my heart, someone else would. I knew that type of connection was possible. So I learned to be a little more discerning about who I give my heart to. I learned not to sacrifice myself to someone who wasn't willing to do the same for me. That words are nice, but actions are better. And even though it didn't last, I knew I could have that again with someone else. And something that didn't come close was not even worth my time. So I'm sharing this with you because, if you're in a dark hole, whether it's because of some horrendous breakup or some other personal struggle, I want you to know there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a reason why you're experiencing all this. Maybe it's a personal revelation. Maybe it's the strengthening of will or body armor. Maybe it's a twist of fate that's going to set you on a different path, a path where you find the right person. I haven't found him yet, but I'm confident that he's out there, maybe somewhere across the world, maybe in my backyard, who knows. But I do know that the last few years would have been drastically different for me had I moved in with him or ended up with him. And I'm thankful for the last few years, the way they did pan out. Great learning experiences that I really, really needed. So, thank you for breaking my heart. I wish you love, happiness, and success. Thanks for watching. Leave me a comment. Varvel, everyone.